Friends, expanded news from last week. You remember that I told you a couple of days ago the news that Mexico was going to host a tremendous BYD factory. And at the time I said that it would be important for America and possibly a leap door for the United States. Because the fact that they are manufactured in Mexico, that they have a CIF, let's say a tax certification number in Mexico, would allow them to make the leap. Why? Because they only need to unionize with a union and have certain employees who are of American origin, as Ford already does or as General Motors already does, to get rid of tariffs, as long as they do not use chips that are banned in the country. But in that news, a few days later, a follower of the channel shared this image with me. He made a comment that has helped me to look for very interesting information that I want to share with you today. Amigos, TCL Mexico UE, US-Mexico Free Trade Agreement US. Since July of 2020, Mexico and the US have enacted a free trade agreement that is part of the Mexico-EU Economic Association Political Consultation and Cooperation Agreement, which also aims to foster political dialogue and increase operations between both parties. Imported into the US from Mexico. Tariff information. The Sport Help Desk is a tariff service in the US. In essence, what he came to inform me, and it's summarized pretty well here, is that there's a free trade agreement. And take note, you can't see this page very well, but I'll zoom out a little and upload it so you can see it better. This page is from the Undersecretary of Economy of the Mexican government. There's a free trade agreement between Europe and Mexico. And what this man came to tell me is that there could be a major move by BYD manufacturing electric cars in Mexico and exporting them from there. It wouldn't have to be in Turkey anymore, as I already told you. Instead, it could be directly from Mexico with a cheap workforce, although transporting is more expensive now, but it would have other very interesting solutions. When the idea came to me to look for this information, solely because one of you, a follower, left me a comment, I said oysters. This could be interesting. This could be interesting. I'm going to leave you the link now so you can read it in detail. But since 2020, we have a free trade agreement that I was unaware of between Mexico and the European Union. And BYD is going to build the biggest factory outside of China in Mexico. It might be a coincidence, but also it could be something that's on its way to giving us some pleasant surprises. So, friends, a brief news update about what we talked about the other day regarding BYD Mexico and BYD's role in the marketing of cars in Europe, avoiding tariffs if they are manufactured in China, and if they end up being imposed, which I think they will be. But hey, we're 3 days away from finding out in free trade agreement with Mexico. What do you think, friends?